Good morning, guys. Well, good evening for those in the server of what I'm actually going to be streaming, but good morning to everyone from my own time zone. It's currently nearing 3 a.m. here, and in about 9 minutes, well, with the delay, it will be 9 minutes for you as well when you hear this. We're gonna start seeing the Challenge the Stars tournament where we see Void versus Pramo. So that's going to be exciting. Right now you're only seeing the preview of the stream really. And that has mainly to do with the fact that I'm not sure on which account Wargame is going to send me the invite to the room. So I'm going to be talking for a little bit until the room invite pops up. And then I'll take you with me, basically. Let me know if you can hear me alright, if you hear the game sounds too much or not enough, and we'll see what happens. Basically, I've not really been, I have to guiltily admit, following the tournament all that much, mainly because I've got a lot of things going on at the moment, but I'm really happy that I get to stream this, because it's just so much fun to always watch the tournament games and to be able to commentate on them. It's something that I really like doing. And of course, technically speaking, you can't say this is Pramo versus Void, because most of the Pramo team that went to Minsk is currently in another clan, and it's not really Pramo anymore. But because it's the Minsk team that came out for Pramo, played for Pramo at the time, it's still called Pramo. Hence the Pramo versus Void that you'll also see in the wraparound later on when I take away the image that you're now seeing. And yeah, now we're just waiting to see until the tournament starts, which is gonna happen in about 2 minutes or so. The room will be up, and then 5 minutes after that we actually start the games. It's gonna be a best of 7, which means that the first team to get to 4 victories will win this. And we're gonna be looking at the maps. Fort Despair, Castilla, Canal, and if there's a tiebreaker, we go to Faust. All of these are pretty good maps. They're definitely not easy maps to play. Canal is really big. Castilla has the downside of being very, well, team dependent. Of course, this whole tournament is team dependent, but you know what I mean. It's just when you go to the wrong side and you're either singled out or the other team just steamrolls right through, you're in a lot of trouble. Fort Despair is a pretty small map, but has really excellent positioning. And, well, Faust is just one of my favorite maps because it's so unlike any other map. It's just a lot of fun. But I'm not sure we're gonna get there. I hope we do, actually, because that would mean that we've been having really epic games, and the teams are really evenly matched, basically. So I'm just waiting for the room now, hoping that it will pick up. I just opened a box on my not pressed account for NA, and I got a whopping 50 free XP. I'm so happy. Oh my god. So yeah, the reason, by the way, that I'm not showing you all of this is that because I'm currently loaded on my press account on my PC and my normal account on my iPad to see where the invite pops up. And if it pops up on the other account, it means switching accounts, and I can just see myself forgetting to put the image in place to log into the other account if I need to. So that's better, more of a better safe than sorry. Oh, it's coming up on both, so that is awesome. That means that I can now take away this image and you will see what I see in the game. I'm gonna ready up so I can't forget that, and I'm gonna switch off my iPad so that it doesn't get in the way. On the other side, we don't see the Pramo team yet, but we do see Rolling Swarm, which is my colleague commentator, who has also been doing the Asia and EU streams this day, well, yesterday, technically speaking. And yeah, it's just gonna be a lot of fun. And I just realized I forgot to do this. So I'm hoping that you're not missing all too much of my talking, as much as you can miss that anyway. I'm waiting for YouTube to let me start streaming. Come on, YouTube. You can do this. There we go. So we are now live, and you might have missed a few minutes of my gibberish, which is not all that bad, to be honest. I'm glad Lopani is in the house. And we're gonna be seeing the games pretty soon, to be honest. It's gonna be awesome. I'm just checking to see if we can see everything. We see everything all right. So like I said, we have one person in Pramo so far, 2 in Rain and 1 in Uwu, which is probably not how you pronounce that, but I'm gonna go with it. And on the other side, we have the Void team up and ready to go with a Death Star, 2 Death Stars even, 2 Batchats, an Object 140, a T-62A, and a TOG. I have a feeling we're not going to be seeing that TOG in the game itself. At least I hope not. If they do stick with the Death Stars though, that's pretty interesting, because they have not really been played all that much, I believe, since the whole nerf thing. And I'm not sure they're as competitive as they used to be. So that's going to be interesting to see. And I just hope they're worth it, basically, because with the reload and everything, it's not really something that I would like. But again, that's just me. I never liked the tank anyway, so that probably doesn't help. I'm just gonna get the chat up. So we're now only a few minutes away from the first game on Fort Despair. Fort Despair is generally a heavy tank. I like that Tantan is gonna drive a tier 1, but I have a feeling, just like with the TOG, that is not really what they're gonna go for. But we'll see. Ooh, there's a second Pramo player, and now we have 4 Rains and an Uwu. But we have a full team, so I have a feeling that this is it. And they're not really done picking their tanks maybe yet either, because there's still people changing it. And we're gonna see what happens, basically. I'm gonna quickly call up the map for you guys. This is the map that we're starting on. We have base C, which is basically the heavy base B in the middle, and base A that is completely open to any and all snipers. Behind base C was the grill position that we saw Ray take several times during the Twister Cup tournament. And basically this is, for me, a heavy map. You can do really well with heavies and super heavies on here. Big guns do help behind the heavies, and of course if you have a heavy with a big gun, that helps as well. But it's hard to basically find cover or to cap the bases, because none of these bases is really well protected, and it can be fired at from pretty much anywhere. So before I forget to take it off, I'm gonna take it away again, and we're gonna see the definite lineup. We have an E3, we have 3 IS-4s, we have a Mouse, a 268, and a T-57 heavy. And on the Pramo side, we have 4 IS-4s, a Batchat, a T-62A, and a 268. So as I actually kind of hoped, there's no Death Stars involved, no TOGs, no tier 1s. And in about 30 seconds we are ready to go. And basically I can't wait. This is always like, you're looking at this and you're like, why can't you just start? I want to go. And I'm just waiting to see what happens and waiting to commentate. And I got my cheat sheet with the camera controls ready, because it's been a while since I've used this, and I'm pretty sure that I would forget otherwise. And here we go. Whoop whoop. I love all the different clan tags. But Void is nice and even in the same tag. So let's see what they do. No boosters used. Can't imagine why. And let's go up and away. Let's see what happens. We have Void that is basically going towards both B and C by the looks of it. And we have his Royal Fatness that is taking a cheeky spot, which is generally a really good thing, but he will spot most of everyone on the enemy team, which he does, and then he's going into a nice safe position. If not for Coyote Tango just pushing right on in, and I don't get why he didn't load his turret the right way before, and he is getting absolutely hammered. And he's gone. That is the first tank gone, and that is a really epic push from the Pramo side, to be honest. That was really cheeky, but it worked out, and they're already at a tank behind now, and they barely lost any HP doing it. So if they can just survive, they don't even need to cap the bases. They're gonna do that, of course, because it's supremacy, but they don't even need to in order to get to keep this. And this IS-4 capping base B is so well protected, he can cap it for free. And at the moment we now have the T-57 Heavy coming up around, and I'm very curious to see if he's gonna get any shots in. There are several enemies that have not been spotted, and that's gonna make Void nervous. We see some blind shot, well, not blind shots, we see some shots going in. E3 getting a nice shot into the IS-4 there. And we have the mouse that is losing health really quickly. Pramo is in a really good position with the shots that they're taking. I'm just going to take you back here to show you where they are. This is just... They're getting shots in left and right. And even though they don't need to do that much, all they need to do is hold. They have the base, they have the kill. They have the guns, basically. But that Batchet really needs to get out of there. The Batchet is going to be deleted. And the IS-4 is taking... Well, Mo is pushing forward in a quite a cheeky way, but it basically Void is losing HP very fast, and the Batchet will not survive, but that is okay. Basically, both HP wise and point wise, Pramo can lose him and still do really well. But now Mo has to be careful. The mouse is almost dead though, and he's going to be the next one to go, I believe. The 268 is just waiting for it. He's just looking to see who he can shoot, and we see HP being bled all around basically. This is turning into quite a brawl right here in the middle. I'm gonna see if you can take you a bit further. We see the IS-4s. We have the T-57 Heavy that has very little HP, and the T-62A is gonna massacre him. He doesn't even need to try. And then we see more tanks being gone, and now Dragon Creek is in trouble, and he's probably the next to go. But Mo goes first, and basically the mouse is still alive, and that's a mistake. All the same though, I have a feeling that this is definitely Pramo's game, especially when it's now 2 versus 4. Well, 4 versus 2 technically speaking. And basically it's the mouse that just needs to survive, and the 268 is trying to see if he can shoot the mouse. The mouse needs to focus on the target. And now the 268 is actually turning around, and he takes out the other 268. And now it's just the mouse, and no matter how epic a mouse is, I have a feeling that this will not end well for the mouse. Let's see if I can take you behind to see what happens from the mouse point of view. 268 is T6A is just going around killing him, and that is the end of the first game. That was a pretty epic push. That push with the Batchet was just awesome. And it really worked out for Pramo. Well, not Pramo. I'm just calling you Pramo because of the team. That was just wicked. Loved it. So cheeky. But it really worked out. And it goes to show, if you have a team... This is something that happens in randoms as well. Not like that, of course. But if you have a team behind you, you can do so much. It's just awesome. So yeah, all of you watching, hello. It's really early in the morning here. I hope you forgive me any noob mistakes that I make, or if I don't sound too coherent. That's just because it's in the middle of the night. But honestly, I love this. I love doing it. I love seeing it. And I'm just, yeah, can't wait for the next game. And everyone else is ready, so why just can't the game just start? It would be lovely if the game just did that. Like, everyone is ready up, let's go. On Void's side, we now see an E3, 2 IS-4s, a mouse, a Foch, a 113, and a T-57 Heavy again. I think the T-57 Heavy is a bit of a risk. It can perform really well, but it can be very tricky. Especially when, well, they don't know that, but on Pramo's side, you now see 2 IS-4s, 2 mice, a 268, an E3, and a 183. So that's quite some armor and a heck lot of firepower. So that's going to be difficult no matter the setup. And it's in the same small map. But you know that they're not going to make this aggressive push again, because they have literally no... Well, they have the 268, but they have no fast tanks, no mediums, no lights. And that's going to be, well, as I keep saying, it's going to be interesting. And in 6 seconds, we're gonna go and we're gonna see what happens. Let's go. I love commentating on this kind of gameplay. It's always just a whole different level altogether. It's just awesome. So we're almost ready. And up and away. We have the Foch that is going towards the corner, yeah, I believe. The rest is gonna push on C. And I have a feeling they might be meeting some Pramo there because both mice are heading over to the same direction. We have basically... Well, unbelievable, I'm stuck with the camera. We have his Royal Fatness that is just overlooking base C. And we have a very cheeky cap on base C. And I wonder if he's going to get away with it. Not with those two mice coming in. He's not. Because even with HE, that's going to be hurting. And they're not going to be able to cap that enough, I think. And both the IS-4 and the 113 are in trouble now. Because even shooting Pramo, a mouse can be tough to penetrate. And when he pulls back like that, he does lose some health. And that was a nice shot into the mouse there. But all the same, they won't be capping base C. In the meantime, we see Pramo... Well, both teams are pretty much spread out across the same kind of distance. And we see some shots being fired. And Snowfox is losing a lot of health. TJ is basically untouched. And he doesn't really need to be. But there's a shot into the A3. The 268 pulls back far enough not to get shot in return. And we have Pramo doing a cheeky cap on base B. We have the IS-4 that is not really moving but not really shooting. And they're gonna be able to cap base B. And they're gonna have a base and a point advantage again. The mouse is pulling back. We have Snowfox that is now side scraping in a very effective position. But TJ is in a bit of a problem now with just decapping base C. But he's losing a lot of HP doing that. We have the E3 pushing in, bouncing on the mouse. Nice to see that tracer go up into the sky like that. And I have a feeling that now Void is going to get base C. But they're already 60 points behind. That's like 1.5 tanks. So that's going to be tricky. HP-wise, it's nearly the same. But they need to push at some point. And they can't really push anywhere. Because you never want to push into two mice when they're in a hold-down side-scraping position. It's going to be hard to do that. And now we have the IS-4 that is going to go towards base B. We have some IS-4 on IS-4. And he's just overlooking it. He can't really do much either because he's on his own. And if the rest of Pramo decides to push him, he's a goner. So we just have some shots going back and forth here. Not really much happening. They can't really do much to begin with. Because these are all pretty good positions. And it's hard to just break through that. We have Tantan that is pulling back. He might be heading towards base B. Or just to the back and see if he can get some snipe shots from there. But we have the 1A3 making a move as well. Getting ready probably to see if they can spot that last remaining tank. And I think Pramo is understanding that something is going to happen. And I'm going to take you with me to the other side. And to see what happens from this side. Because now Pramo is in a sort of stalemate position. We have the IS-4 that is peeking out. We have Tantan that is waiting for it. The Death Star has not been spotted. The IS-4 is getting shot from the side over there. Basically now Pramo has a 1k HP advantage and still around 60 points ahead. So something will need to happen. And only the mice have a lot of damage done to them in Pramo's team. That's going to be tricky as well because they can push harder. Because, well, mice are very armored tanks and the rest is still pretty much full health. So that's going to be very tricky. So let's see what happens. We don't really... It seems a bit of a stalemate. And Pramo's content to just wait. They don't need to make the push. They just need to hold. And as long as they do that, they will win. Because right now we're already at 700 points. And basically, unless Void manages to kill 2, this game is Pramo's. Unless they cap base B, but they can't really do that. And now we have the IS-4 that is pulling back. We have the E3 that is going around. We have the mice still holding C, so they're not getting C. Well, at least they don't have to, because they already have it. But they're not going to be able to cap base B with the tanks that are behind it, especially with those TDs. They don't know they're there, but they know they're somewhere. And now Void is making a push all the way to the back. I'm gonna take you over there, see what happens. They need to take those mice out, and it's gonna be tricky because that also means that they can push in from the other side. We have the E3 that is now pulling back. We have TJ in a very tricky position. We have the 113 that is almost there. We have some thousands on the mice, and we have Pramo pulling back towards their mice. There goes one mouse. And they really need to push in, take that base B if they want to win this. Because, ooh, they are losing a lot of HP. They need to pull back. That E3 is almost dead. The 113 needs to take care not to get shot too, because then he's also a goner. And basically they just need to hold, and they need to cap base B. They need to hold base B, not even cap it. They need to hold it so that they don't get more points. But now we have Pramo pushing in from behind. The E3 is a goner. And there's a lot of HP being lost now. There goes his royal fatness. And basically it's 6 versus 5 now. But they're both above 900 points now. They need to drive into base B. Come on, guys. I understand you, but come on. We have the Ice 4 that is now also a goner. And oh my god, Void just managed to get it. That is epic. That was really cool. Love that game. So now we are moving map. We are gonna go to Castilla. Castilla is definitely not my favorite kind of map, but it works. And it's well, I think one of the reasons that it's usually picked is because you can go so many different ways with this, depending on the type of tanks you have and all of that. So we're gonna see what happens in about a minute and a half. I'm just checking the chat really quickly to see what happens there, if anything interesting is being said. So in less than a minute we're gonna go. Everyone seems to be ready. We have 2268 and M60. You don't see that much in Clan Wars. 2 IS4s, a Batchat and a T57 Heavy again. And on the other side we have one 268, we have an IS4, we have a Batchat, 2 140s, another 268 and a T22 medium. I was wondering when we're gonna see that. I've been really wanting that. I don't have it, but it's good, and I'm really curious to see how it will perform here. Because I'm not sure Castilla is the map for it, but we're gonna see definitely how it goes. So yeah, in 10 seconds we're gonna go and we're gonna see what happens. Dun 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 dun. There we go. For a moment I thought I was going to send back to the garage, and I did press ready, didn't I? Because this happened. So both teams have quite a bit of speed and quite a bit of gun power. So let's see, let's go. There we go. Let's go up and away, see what happens. We have both teams heading towards base A more than the other side, but we have Void focusing more on B, and we have a Batchat doing pretty much the same thing. He's going to be cheeky and he's going to be spotting them. We have Tonton saying they will, but we don't know what they will. We have the M60 that's going to be overlooking base A, and he might be in trouble with the mediums there, but if he has a good team behind him with the team members that are here, he might be able to pull it off. We have the IS4 that is overlooking base B, so they're not going to get that. We have Batchat. Ooh, that Batchat got just absolutely deleted. Wow. And now they're going to push A. That's very tricky because there's only 2 tanks on the other side, and the M60 has to be careful because it's not the armored tank, and he is getting shot now. Because there are 3 tanks in pretty good positions over there, and they can get some shots in. We have the IS-4 there as well. They need to cap the base. Of course they do. But are they going to get away with it? Yes, they are. And now they just need to pull back. And the IS-4 is making a pretty aggressive push. We see some HP being disappearing. And now both teams have a base, but Void already misses a gun. So that's going to be very tricky. We have Void pulling back towards base A. I think they're going to see if they can take care of these mediums. And they kind of need to, because this is the side to push now, especially if you can avoid the 268s getting the hits in. They are getting a bit in the way of each other. The M60 is taking hits. They are focusing on Tantan. Tantan is going to be absolutely destroyed in moments. And they're not going to be able to do much about that. There goes Tantan, and there's a nice shot into the 140 over there. But it did cost them another gun, and all the guns from Pramo are still alive. They now have 2 bases, so this is really tricky. Snowfox just needs to stay alive and go away. We have Mo over here that is maybe going to get a hit in, but the 268 are behind there. And it's very risky to pick out, so Cora wisely pulls back there. Because they know where the 268 are. They just don't know exactly where they are, and they can't really take the shots in. They can't really pick up on the Citadel because they don't know where the 268s can get shots in. And basically we have the 140 taking up a comfortable position along with the TDs. And this is not looking good for Void at all. So let's see what happens. They are pulling back. The M60 is still in the same position as before. I think he's more there to keep track. We have Cora that is now going up the Citadel. We have the other 268 and T-57 Heavy pulling back. I think they're going to make a push towards B because they kind of need to. And they have a Batchat there, which is a juicy target. But those snipers behind there are going to be really tricky for them. And they are now moving a bit as well, getting some positioning where they can get some shots in. Cora can't really do anything there. We have the T-22 medium. Ooh, that was a nice bounce. He's facing down the M60. And basically, this is Pramo's game already. There can be an epic push and there can be epic changes, but it's not likely to happen. And basically all the Pramo needs to do is hold. They have the 2 bases. They're way, way ahead in both HP and in points. Definitely in points. And all they do now is just, they can be cheeky. They can afford to be. And we have the 268 Cora that is in a bit of trouble now versus the IS-4 and T-22 medium. But they don't need to be. They don't need to take any risk at all. The Batchat just lost some HP. But even if they push it now, it's too late. They're not going to be able to do anything about this. Especially with those 2 big guns behind there. Now it's just more basically for the honor of doing as much damage as she can before the counter hits 1000, which is right now. Wow. So that was pretty wicked gameplay from Pramo. The way that they got those caps and the way that they got Void's attention at base A, sorry, and basically that broke Void up because they left B and C to be taken by Pramo. So now we have another Castilla game, and we're gonna see in about a minute. Both teams are already ready. We have 3 IS-4s, a Batchat, an M60, a Foch, and a T-57 Heavy again. And on the other side, we have 4 IS-4s, a Leo. I don't see that often. An E50M don't see that often either. And a 268. So that's going to be interesting to see because both the Leo and the E50M are tanks that I don't often see in Clan Wars at all. And especially on this map, that can be very... I'm curious to see what they will do and how that will go. That half a minute left to go. I hope the stream quality all is fine and everything, and that all of that is going well. And basically I just want to go. I want to see what they do. I want to see the shots flying, the HP vanishing, the points going. Waiting is always boring. So here we go. In 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. I like that despite basically falling into different clans, the Pramo team is still really working together and all of that. Because changing clans can change a lot of things. But that doesn't seem to be a problem. So let's go up and away. We have Void focusing mainly on base A, but leaving the T57 Heavy and the Batchat to go to base B. We have one IS-4 that's going to go overlook base C. And we have the rest of Pramo going towards base A and B. And the Leo is going to start a cheeky cap there. And even though he's not capping, he's just going up the hill. And look at that M60 getting there. That's a good position to start in. And now we have the IS-4. We have the first shots going into people. And we have Void with the cheeky cap on base C over there. That did not get stopped. So now basically all they need to do is hold and avoid Pramo from getting any bases. And with the E50M there, they are getting some shots, and I'm gonna take you over to see what happens. He's pulling back between the buildings, and Corey just needs to hold. They're not gonna be able to cap that cap. At the same time, we have the T57 Heavy and the Batchat that now know where the IS-4 is. T57 Heavy is pulling back, and that is cheeky because they might just grab base C from them if they're not careful. And the Batchat needs to be careful because he's a very juicy target. He's always a very juicy target. We have the M60 that got spotted. We have a lot of people at the back there that can get shots in, but they're not. And we have Mo overlooking base C, and he's not taking it. I know he knows that there are people there. There are some shots being fired. Ooh, that was a big shot into Mo. Nicely done there. So they know that base C is protected, but they don't know how basically open B and A are. Well, it's very easy for both teams to make a push to avoid either base being capped. But with base C being capped by Void, that means that Pramo has to make the push. And they are doing that. They are pushing down below. We have the IS-4s and the Leo that are nearly in position to do whatever is needed to either cap the base or to take out a tank. But right now this game is definitely working in Void's favor. We have the Foch that is overlooking base B together with the IS-4 and the Batchat and the T57 Heavy now also making a move. We see some shots going into the M60. M60 is now in a precarious position over there, especially with the IS-4 being able to get shots in. And we have tanks that are now on top of the Citadel. M60 needs to be a bit careful, but basically Pramo needs to make a push. Because they're now 250 points behind. We have some HP being lost in places, but not too much. We have the IS-4 that they know is there somewhere. And basically T57 Heavy isn't spotted anymore, so now he can just easily move. M60 got a shot in. Basically Mo is in a position where he can't really do much, so he's now pulling back. And we just see shots being fired, but not much happening. They still can't cap base A because there are still people overlooking it, and it still won't help them much to try and get it. But oh my god, there's not really a lot happening right now. Basically both teams are more or less holding, and Pramo needs to make the push. They need to make it somehow, and we don't know how they're gonna do it. We have the Leo that is now pulling back, maybe going towards base C. We have the Batchat that took a little bit of damage. Mo that has been spotted again. Everyone is waiting for someone else to do something. Right now there are 380 points between the teams, and now Mo is taking base C. That is cheeky because Void needs to react. He's pulling back again. The troll cap did not work, and he only lost HP doing that, and he's now even in a more precarious position where he can't really do much. We have the E50M that's stuck between the buildings. We have the IS-4 that is overlooking base B that can't really be anywhere else. We have the 268 here on the ridge that has not been spotted, but it's not getting any shots in. We have the IS-4s both in a position where they can't really do all that much. And we are still waiting. There are now 450 points between the two teams. And all Void needs to do is survive. They just need to hold. We now have a cheeky cap. Now the IS-4 is pushing through. I think they're going to try and see if they can get some shots in, take out some tanks. They are capping base C again, and now the Leo is behind there as well. They are decapping it, but if they lose that cap, that's going to be disastrous for them. They are keeping it though, and they still have 210 points about to go before they win this game. There's HP being lost by Pramo, to both sides to be honest, but more so to Pramo, and the difference isn't all that much, but the difference in what tank has what HP is quite a bit. The M60 is making an aggressive push, and I think he's going to pay for that. He is lucky there to get away without getting shot. And basically this is Void's game. It's a very still game, not much happening. A lot of waiting, and a lot of waiting too long. Because there's only now 150 points left to go before the game is actually won. So we're gonna see what happens. They will have to take the base C at some point. We have the M60 that is now still being aggressive. The IS-4 that is down below. We're only now 100 points away from basically a victory for Void. And this is gonna be very tricky because they need to take out tanks if they want to survive this. We have the IS-4 that is in a nice position over there. They are hiding, and the Batchat needs to get away right now. Otherwise, they're going to get shot by the 268. And ooh, there goes the Batchat. And that's the first tank gone. But still, now they're going to be able to push that base C. They're going to be able to take it. And they might just swing this game around. The IS-4 is now also gone. Void just lost 2 tanks in relatively short time. And worse, Pramo managed to steal their base, so now they're not getting any points. They're not going to be able to take out enough tanks. They need to get a base. The force just vanished. We have Pramo that is making the push, even though they have some very low health tanks. We have the IS-4 being very cheeky over there, but even if he dies, Pramo now probably has this base on HP and tanks and guns and everything. And there goes the 4th one. It's now 7 versus 3. All of Pramo is still alive. And this definitely looked to be going towards Void for such a long time. And the battle is finished. It's a... Oh my god. Time just literally ran away from us. That was awesome. That was really cool. And basically Void just won that because of the point difference, because they had so many more points. That was pretty awesome. In a way, Pramo left it too long before they made the push. Had they made this push easier, I'm pretty sure they probably would have won this. Especially taking out that Batchat. That was vital. That was wicked. So now we move on to Canal, which is one of my favorite maps because it's so much bigger than most maps, and that allows for a lot more different tactics and things to go through. We have 2 268, 3 IS-4s and 2 Batchats on the Void side, and on the other side we have 2 Object 140s, 2 E50Ms, an IS-4 and a 268. And that's going to be interesting to see, because again, with the E50M, that is not really a tank that you see all that much, and I'm always wondering if there's a reason for that. But on the other hand, Pramo has been performing really well so far, and basically it works for them apparently. So we're gonna see what it does. Of course, it is a very troll tank, and it's a ram panzer, which also helps, but mostly with clan wars you don't get close enough to them so that they ram each other to death. But yeah, this is gonna be cool to see. I have a feeling we're gonna definitely see Pramo on base D side. With the Void, I'm not so sure they can go either way with this. But I think they're gonna get base B and probably overlook base D. It's gonna be cool. So here we go. But so far it's going up pretty evenly, and I absolutely love that. Very cheeky games. That's just awesome. There we go. Let's go up. One Batchat is already going away, which means that they are not focusing on base D, but they are going to put one Batchat there just to see who's coming, I think. And we have the other Batchat. Ooh, that Batchat needs to be careful not to get shot to smithereens right away. We have Void taking a base, and I think the Batchat might just be keeping them from capping base B later on. We have the other Batchat that is overlooking D, but by now they already almost have base C, so they have the point advantage, and that is very important. We have the Batchat indeed going up and around here, which is a very aggressive and very cheeky move, but if he gets away with it, that's awesome. Now both teams have a base. Void has a slight advantage, slight HP disadvantage of like literally 5 points. Basically now it's waiting. Ooh, that A50M got a big shot into him. We have some nice sniping from Cora over there. And now they are pulling back. They don't really need to be here, especially when they know where some of the enemy are. We have base A that has now already been capped. We have Pramo pushing towards base C a little bit, probably to overlook it to see any campers that they have. IS-4 has been spotted. And we have the 268 wisely not firing, so he's not yet detected. We have the Batchats that are just pulling back now. We have the medium train that is going over there. I think they're going to grab base A. We have the Batchat wisely pulling back. And I wonder if they know how alone this IS-4 is being. Because now, look at the train go. They're going to grab base A. And I very wonder if Void is going to make the push, if they're going to make it worth it. They know they're gonna lose base A now they need to make a push and not lose bases, because soon Pramo will have 3 bases, and that's gonna be very difficult for Void to undo, because now Pramo is gaining points a lot faster. We have Void that is now heading back towards base D, I think, and I think they're gonna steal that, but I'm not sure if it's gonna be enough, because they're losing points pretty fast. The medium train is overlooking back to avoid them getting rushed. We have massive shots going here into the ice, into Mo there. And basically they are stealing base D, and now it's even again with a slight advantage towards Void. We have the 268 that has wisely pulled back, so he's not spotted still. And they probably have no idea. Yeah, they are telling the CDs to run because they expect the medium train to push through. But right now we have pretty much of a stalemate and not much happening again. And it's gonna be, well, as always, interesting to see. That's kind of like a catchphrase when it comes to games like this for me. And basically they're all in positions where they can hold and they can support each other. But that goes for both teams, and that's tricky. We have Tantan that is overlooking base C. We have the Mo that is just checking to see if anyone is there, but there is no one there. We have the mediums that are pulling back towards their spawn, probably to see if they can take out some of these tanks over here. We have the Batchat that would have spotted them going over if he had been on the hill instead of next to it. And that Batchat, if he gets spotted in that bush, he's gonna hurt a lot with the 268 over there, because he's just ready to fire. And they're all waiting for a push that they expect the other team to do. So now just basically wait, not much happening with the Batchat in the middle, not doing much of anything. And I'm just curious to see what will happen. That Batchat is gonna hurt so badly when he gets spotted. And only now are they spotted, and the Batchat has not moved yet. There he goes. That is a very lucky Batchat. So he's now pulling away. We have the IS-4 that is gonna get hurt, but the Object 140 is hurting more. There he goes. That's the first tank gone, and it's a Pramo tank. But we see a lot of HP being lost by the Batchats. We have the E50M losing some. We have the Kade that is gonna be absolutely wrecked where he is right now. He's in trouble. The Batchats are almost reloaded. They need to take out these tanks, and they need to take them out fast. We have a very cheeky Batchat over here, and we have the E50M in a lot of trouble. There he goes. That's the second Pramo tank. We have the 268. That was almost a Batchat goner. But he's still alive. He just needs to not go drive into anything. Otherwise he'll be dead. We have a lot of HP being lost. There goes the 268. We have the IS-4 that is now gone. Basically it's turning into a big brawl. I have no idea where that shot went. And they are taking out the tanks very fast. And ooh, there he goes. Game is for Pramo based on points. And it's over, even though there's still kills being made and tanks being shot. This is Pramo's game. Wow. That was awesome. Love a good brawl in the end. And especially when you start forgetting about the points then. Because you're just so focused on seeing the focus fire and tanks vanishing and all of that. That was awesome. So now it's 2-3 for Pramo. If Pramo wins another game, they've got this. If Void wins this game, then we get the tiebreaker in Faust. I honestly quite hope for that. So in 1 minute and a half, we have a totally different team up for Void right now with 3 IS-4s, or maybe not. Waiting to see if he readies up with that again. But an IS-7, we have not seen that yet tonight. Another T-57 Heavy, a 268, an E-50M, a Batchat, and 2 IS-4s. And on the other side, we have 3 IS-4s, 2 Batchats, and 2 268s, which I think is a combination that works really well on this map, because they're all tanks that can basically just reposition themselves quite easily and be effective in a hacklot positions. So let's see what happens in like 40 seconds. Yes, there is a stream delay, by the way. You have a stream delay of 5 minutes because you don't want the either team to be able to see the lineup of the other team before you actually start the battle, which in the first wait is 5 minutes, so the delay is 5 minutes. So let's see, in like 14 seconds we're gonna go. I can't wait. These have been really cool games so far. Really cheeky gameplay from both teams. I love it. Ooh, that's a good tip from Tantan. And he's probably right. Depending on where they go. And we have 1 E50M going towards base D. And we have the Batchats going towards... They're making a pretty aggressive push through the middle there. That Batchat is in a very precarious position if he stays there. The E50M is not really making a push just yet. Cora is in a cheeky position. He's also now in the line of fire from the TD, so he has to be careful with that. But he manages to put it off. No HP lost just yet. But now Pramo already has a base. They are decapping base B as Tantan said they would. And now the E50M is making a push into base D. We have the Batchat that is going over. And there we go. They need the bases. They need to take care to get that point advantage back. And now, this is cheeky. Look at Pramo capping base B. Come on. And they're getting away with it too. They can't... Basically, Void can't do much about it. The 2 Batchats are going all the way back to cap base B, A as well. And that will mean that Pramo will have a massive point advantage very soon. And there's not much Void can do about it because they're all positioned around here. Which is not necessarily a bad thing. It's really good positioning. But Pramo has a massive point advantage now. And there will have to be a very aggressive push to take that back from them. Look at the points just going up already. They need to cap the bases, but they can't really take any base without getting absolutely hammered. Base C is the obvious one to take, but it might cost them a heck lot in order to get it. But they really have no choice because otherwise they're going up way too fast. And then they still need to cap another base if they want to avoid that. We have the IS-4. Ooh, that is a big shot into the Batchat. But they are getting it and they just need to see if they can get it enough. Because they have no choice. They have to get it. The Batchat is now pulling back. They are pulling back. Ooh, though that was a nice bounce to be honest. But the Batchat is now a very low health. And it cost the IS-4 a heck lot of health as well. So this is going to be very tricky for Void. Definitely. They've now got 2 tanks but they can't do all that much with. Because they will lose too much HP. We have Cora in a precarious position as well. They can't cap base B because that's overlooked. They can't cap base C because that's overlooked. And basically Pramo dominates this game by bases. And by any position, there is nothing, unless there's like a miracle, that Void can do to avoid this game going to Pramo. I mean, look at the points already going up. It's going so fast. And this is very aggressive gameplay by Pramo, and it really worked. They can't really... There's nothing Void can do. It's just too strong, unless they like drive into all the bases, which would include A, which is where the main force of Pramo is, together with the 268. They are pushing through the middle because that keeps the snipers from hitting them. But yeah, that's not gonna work. The Batchat is gonna go take base C, I hope. No, he's not. They need to take the bases. The IS-7 is almost gone already. This is costing them way too much. And this is like a full-on brawl. We have shots going into everyone. But Pramo has already basically got this. They're at 900 points already. Has to be a very effective brawl for that, for this to work. But Void already lost 2 tanks now, and the points just hit 1k. And there's still a lot of HP being lost, but it is the end, and Pramo has it. Wow. That was very aggressive gameplay by Pramo. Absolutely loved seeing that, to be honest. That push where they cap base B, which is like the base closest to the spawn of Void. Very, very cheeky, very epic gameplay. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. But for me, that is the end. It is now 03:42 AM, that is, for me. So I think I'm going to go back to bed. But it's going to take a while to go to sleep with this in mind, because this was really fun to see. Just the tactics, the way that they pushed. Absolutely love it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I have the link and all of it in the description. Well, the link to my Discord and all of it in my video description. Be sure to message me if you have any feedback for me, because I'll happily hear it and I'll happily do something with it. And I'll be seeing you guys next time again. Good night.